Hey guys, Chris from the Ultimate Recycler. It's another week and it's another obligated episode of the Emergency Storage Shed. That's the shed behind me. Clean out series. We have to get something out of here every week. It's taken us well over 2 years now. Well, I think this is episode 135. It took a week to fill it. Certainly a long way longer to empty it, but we are going through things properly. We're making decisions. We're selling a lot of stuff. We're over $20,000 worth of stuff out here so far. We're a bit past halfway, but then again, it's not an even coal face because we've got stuff on the sides still to look at. Let's go back to the depths and pull out another mystery box. Last week we had some glass and china wrapped up. There is more of that, but however, there's a timber box on top that we need to deal with first, and not really sure what's in that. It's not glass or china. Looks like an old oil box, and it has been in danger of falling, but because we've got the stuff off the top of it, I think those squashed boxes at the bottom may just last long enough for us to get to them. So we have a bit of, looks like shed stuff. There's an old tin. That's a, what is that? Some sort of weird inverted retro spotlight. A bit of enamelware, so a little bit of vintage kitchenware. It's a nice old jug. There's another light in there. Let's get this onto the bench and sort it out. We'll make some decisions. The box has split this end, but it might be worth repairing. And there's another couple of boxes underneath. I'm not sure what's in those. We'll see how we go with this one, see what value we can get out of it, and let's decide what to do with everything. Let's not duck shove things. What do they call it? A doom box, where you don't organise, only move. I'm not doing that here. We have to organise. Okay, it is quite heavy. I'm not sure what it is at the bottom, and I'm not sure. I haven't looked at the cracked end. I think it's an oil box. Yes, it's a Shell oil box, so that'll be worth fixing. Not worth a great deal, but certainly worth selling. So let's reposition the camera and go through this interesting, it looks like it's mostly lights, but cool lights, all the same. Unfortunately, the print on the Shell end is not very good. Let's have a look at the other end while we're here. It's obviously in two halves, but the print is better. So I reckon we can join that back up. A bit of a wash up, maybe just a smear of beeswax will bring the colour out a little bit. We could probably get $20 or $30 for the box with a bit of repair work, but I reckon we've got some more value in here. So this is anodised aluminium, a red plastic handle, toggle switch at the back, and it's an inverted spotlight. Inverted? It's sort of the similar format as what you'd see with a telescope. So you have a curved, what's that, a concave mirror at the back, a reflector, and in this case the globe sits in the middle. So the light goes back and then bounces out in a beam, depending on the focal length of that mirror or reflector. Really unusual. There's no globe in it. It looks like it's probably just a 12-volt one. What's on the end of our cord? God, how long's our cord? Oh, isn't that just bare wires? Probably would have had alligator clips on it or something. So we can give that a clean up. We can actually put a globe in there and test it. It's a pretty cool piece, that. I don't ever remember seeing that before in my life. There's a chance that this box came out of someone's shed and I just moved it to my shed. I doomed it. I didn't organise, only moved. That's really chipped away at the bottom. It's quite heavy. It's a very early enamelled kitchen jug. Some of these have measurements down the inside. This one doesn't. Worth a wash up. Certainly, probably still, it's a bit rusty in the bottom. You probably wouldn't necessarily use it, but it's a great relic from kitchens of years ago, and they sell quite well. We'll probably get $10 for it. We'll clean it up anyway. Now, this is bizarre. Oh, lots of tangled cords in the bottom here. This is a spotlight, but guess what it's made from? A funnel. That is weird. Someone's made a spotlight out of a funnel. So that's a switch, obviously. Oh, it's just a push-pull switch. I don't know how they got the light in there. Did they unsolder the top? Because it's definitely a funnel. There's an old rubber, like a bicycle handlebar grip here that's over the bottom of the funnel. Wow, I guess desperate times call for desperate measures. We need a spotlight. We've only got a funnel and a sealed beam. And it actually has come up pretty cool. So I'm just going to wash that up. I'm not going to try and do anything more with it. I guess we can test it to see if the sealed beam works. It's probably 12 volt again. It says 40 watt. Oh, it only says 6 to 8 volt. Interesting. That is one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen. Now, a bit hard to get all the wiring out. This one is it's like an early car or truck mudguard light or fender light. In fact, it's got a bracket here, cast iron bracket. Looks like it's been snapped off, unfortunately. So that may be the original bracket that hung off the side of some early car or early truck. It's got a globe in it too. It's got to look like a park light globe and the main beam. I guess we can check that to see if it lights up too. There's numerous wires coming out of it. I guess you've got 2 filaments on the main globe and then the park light. But yeah, original bracket. It's a shame it's broken. Don't know what it's off. It's a blue. Looks like it's the original colour. Ford blue. Oh, actually, what does it say here? It says Fordson, so it may be off a tractor. An early Ford tractor light. Pretty cool. I think we'll give that a clean up and maybe a test. I'm not going to do much more with these. Just make them presentable to put in the shop. Now, this old tin has something in it. It's a pretty early tin. Geez, that looks sort of 30s or 40s. What's in it? Feels like maybe just nuts and bolts. Oh yeah, a bit of hardware. Cupboard latch, wood screws, some nuts and bolts. We'll tip that out on the bench and have a better look through, but that tin itself is very nice. I hope it's got a brand on there somewhere. Well, I think we've got pretty good value in the tin, not much value in the contents. Okay, just some wire with one alligator clip on it. That goes to another spotlight. I've got one of these similar to this in the shop. It's branded Watco, Bakelite handle, sealed beam, General Electric, quite scuffed unfortunately. So, and the switch is broken off. Just a toggle switch and the actual toggle is broken. I think we could probably still check that though. Yeah, that's okay. That'll be a saleable piece. Probably 1950s, I'm thinking, with the Bakelite handle. Right, a massive cords. We have just a normal household type floodlight here, so no real value there. And people don't usually buy these globes anymore. They all go for the LED ones because that's 150 watts, so it burns through a lot of power as a spotlight. Alright, the rest of the wiring for something, and the insulation's totally fallen off it, so that'll just be copper wire. Another alligator clip. And the last light in here is a massive big, I guess it's an automotive light. Original glass, doesn't look like there's a globe in it. Quite rusty and dirty. No idea what's that is off. It's a bit of a yellowy colour. Could be a very early car. Oh, it says Ford. Alright, interesting. So the actual glass front has got to be worth something with Ford in the old script writing there. I think you can see that. So it's a pretty early headlight. Possibly car or truck, that one. I don't think it's tractor. Needs a good clean. It looks like I've got a bit of cleaning to do today. Now the box is empty, but it's got a bit of rat dirt in it and other stuff. The bottom timber here is broken right through where the knot is in the wood. We can probably just put a little piece inside that. But I'm not really worried about that. I'd prefer to be able to get this to join up quite well. It looks like it will. Maybe put a strap across on the inside to hold it together. Bit of a clean up. It'll present really nicely. It's likely to just be used as a decorative ornamental type piece of garaginalia. People collect boxes. Some people just collect the ends on their own. I don't think it's going to be used as a box to store things in, but that'll be someone else's decision. But it's quite an early one. Good base on it. All right, well, we've got to clean a lot of this up. And we'll go through this tin shortly too. But let's get some stuff off the bench, get it cleaned up, and we'll come back to you shortly. Let's open up this tin again and have a good look at its contents. I haven't seen one of these tins before, and I'm thinking it's got a little slot there. I'm thinking it may have had a little handle over it, so it possibly represents a little lunchbox type of thing with a handle at the top. But it's pretty cool. I can't see a date or any writing on it. It probably won't be dated. I couldn't see any writing. I will clean it up though once we've emptied it, and we'll have a better look. But I think it's much more valuable than the contents, which we'll tip out now and see if there is anything of interest in here. It's amazing what you can find in tins of old hardware sometimes. I have found actual gold, like a gold nugget, once in a drawer of old hardware. Not a huge one, but a few $100s worth. And general jewellery and old coins and buttons and not sure what they are. Yeah, don't know. So that's our latch for our cupboard door. So that will sell. We have a little pad bolt here. Something brass. I think that was a handle or something, and it's lost the rest of it. Not sure, but I'm pretty sure it's brass. Yep, so they can at least go in our brass bin. These are for shoes. I'm pretty sure they're for shoes. I'm not exactly sure what their purpose was. You'd almost have tap dancing shoes with little metal plates on them. So if you know exactly what they are for, let me know in the comments. But I'm pretty sure they nail on the bottom of shoes. Maybe it's just a heel protector on the base. Anyway, there's a whole heap of them there just with a bit of wire twitched through to hold them. Don't know if there's a lot of value. There's a really old little cupboard spring-loaded latch. A large pad bolt keeper. Another size one. A cup hook that's been bent. Is that brass? No, it's not. It's just brass plated. A little keeper there for a swing over latch. Lots of cup hooks. And an assortment of nuts and bolts. Quite an old drill bit here, or a little just for starting a thread. Like are they call it a bodkin or something like that? Ooh, I'm stretching my memory there. Usually they have a T-handle on the end of them. There's a little swing over latch for a box or something. It's probably a bit large for that. Or that's probably a bit large for that. That wood screw's no good. It's lost the point. So I'll just sort these into little groups. I'll put them, there's a little coat hook. Cast iron one, I presume. Yep. So most of this stuff will go into my jars of hardware to sell. That's a little escutcheon for a key, possibly on a suitcase. That's a keeper, I think, for that one. Another little drill bit thing. There's a swing over latch that would probably suit that. Lots of cup hooks. A set screw. Okay, just random bits and pieces. Can't see anything exciting. What's that one? I thought it was like a tyre valve, but I don't think it is. No, it's probably brass. Nickel plated brass. Okay. Not sure what that is. A little weight. I think that's die cast, not magnetic. Quite a lot of wood screws. And eye hooks. Alright, well, nothing terribly exciting, but we've got some hardware to sort into jars. So that's pretty cool. We'll do that. That one might be brass too. Yeah, I'd say so. It's all bent up, so just scrap brass. So I usually sort them with the magnet, so it leaves behind whatever's brass or stainless steel. and we put them in their respective jars. And now that they're all sorted out, I can add them to my existing jars of hardware. So these are all the cup hooks and eye hooks. And once that's full, I'll probably just ask $5 for it. Doesn't take long to fill them up. We found one galvanized clout nail. I've got a jar for those. So this sorting process is kind of cool. I enjoy it. There's a basic standard bolt can go in that one, which is larger hardware. I have to start a new jar for these coach bolts. I've taken some jars to the shop recently. As they fill up, I just take them to the shop and sell them off. These other nuts, they're all fine thread nuts. These ones can go in with this larger hardware again. The square nut, I do save them separately because people that are doing up very old machinery can't buy square nuts, and I'll ask $10 for that when it's full. Seems excessive, but the people that buy it absolutely are thrilled because you just can't get them anywhere else. These are all wood screws, slightly rusty. I keep these separate to newer looking ones because there's often people looking for original old stuff, and the little bit of rust on it seems to please them. It's a matter of just the right patina for their project they're working on. So I did have a jar of these. I've sold them recently, so here's the next jar started. The latches and catches and things here, I might put in a separate jar as well. I've got another jar here. And rather than trying to get $1 each or something for these, I'll just chuck them in a jar. Anything, you know, along that sort of catch or latch or keeper. I could probably even put that one in because that's a little bit rough. I think we'd get a couple of bucks for that one, no worries. And same with that coat hook, we'll be able to sell that. But yeah, when this fills up, we'll ask $5 for that. The other pile over here, these were all badly rusted or bent or mutilated around the top, so they can just go in our scrap steel bin. We have a little bit of scrap brass here. Something else that was in the pile was this little, it's the end of a bicycle spoke, and they're brass, they're nickel-plated brass. A little bit of die cast there. Not sure what I'm going to do with these shoe things, if indeed that's what they are. And these, I might put these in a jar too and just sell them as a lot of old drill bits. I do get lots of old style drill bits. Now, I guessed at a bodkin before. No, they're a gimlet. A bodkin is like a leather needle, like a for heavy sewing, for prying, like an awl, I guess. But these are called a gimlet. They usually have a timber handle across it. This one's got a little square drive to go in a drill brace. And this one's either been broken off, I think it has, or it's been used as a punch or something. But I'll put those in a jar as well. We'll get a few of them. We'll have a saleable lot. And from all the wire off the back of the lights, these are two of the bulldog clips, or no, they're not bulldog clips, they're alligator clips, and these are so badly rusted I'm just going to put them in the scrap steel. This one's okay, and I have got a jar for these somewhere, and I'll get half a dozen various sizes of the alligator clips and just again ask $5. So I like having a lot of hardware in jars in the shop. People love browsing. People say, oh, it reminds them of their dad's place or their grandpa's place, and they sell remarkably well. Now back to this tin. I have cleaned it up, and it's cleaned up pretty well, just with some warm soapy water and a scourer very carefully. And I've given it just a bit of a smear with beeswax, and it's come up fantastically well. It's pretty clean inside. I think it's probably 1920s. I think it was definitely a lunchbox. I think it's probably lithographed, and it's got a child there with the fishing rod and resting obviously beside the stream. Bit of a Art Nouveau type surround, and just the look on the face makes me think it's 1920s or so. It just seems to be that depiction of a face back in the 20s. There's a bird on that end, and again we have the Art Nouveau style surround and a bird again on this end. And if that's a boy fishing, I'm not sure, but it may be. Then this side we have a girl by a lake or something, and it looks like she's holding a frog. Maybe she's going to feed the frog to the stork or whatever bird that is. And again, we have the floral decoration and the Art Nouveau style. In fact, that's around all of them. And it's in remarkably good condition. We have just a floral feature on the bottom. I think that's the bottom. And again on the top. So I'm quite surprised that it's actually not damaged. I guess it sits on the raised folds of metal, but it's in really good condition. The hinge works quite well. Even the little latch works. It's just missing a handle. But I would call that a 1920s lithographed child's lunchbox. The colours are still great. I don't know what price to put on it. I've never seen one like this before. And if it is 1920s, it's definitely an antique, pushing that 100-year-old or a little bit more. I'm probably thinking I'm going to put about $35 or $40 on the shop. We'll see what happens. Sometimes you've just got to pull a price out of the air and see if anyone's interested. But the graphics are so great. The colours are good. The depictions of the scenes are really nice. And the hinge works. There's no writing on it anywhere that I can see. I don't know if it's Australian. I'm guessing it might be. We seem to have bush scenes that certainly could be Australian. But there's no writing on it anywhere. So a really nice piece. Certainly much more valuable than its contents. And I might try $40 on it in the shop and we'll see how we go. Certainly haven't seen another one round. Just before I clean the bench off here, we have a pile of excess wire that I cut off the spotlights and also that other basic floodlight. I just chopped the cord off that. So that's going to go in our electric wire bin. So we're getting a bit of a return there. A little bit of hay band that was around that floodlight, so that's just rubbish. The globe itself, I'm just going to put in with the old light globes I have here. I don't know if it's blown or not, but it's not a lot of point in testing it because it pretty well won't sell it. It can just go to recycling. And the holder and the plug can go into e-waste. So I've washed up all the floodlights. We'll get them out and see if we can power some of them up and have a bit of a discussion on price. And the boxes down here, I've just re-glued that end. It should glue up quite well. The actual shell writing, unfortunately, when I washed it, it kind of faded a bit. Sometimes the paint just seems to, it's just because it's so aged, and if you scrub it at all, it will totally come off. So I did lose a bit of the print, unfortunately. I put a bit of beeswax over it, which brought the grain out beautifully. You can barely see where the crack was. All I've done is glued it. I haven't worried about a strap on the inside. So, and I didn't fix the side of it either. But that'll be fine. It'll be good to take to the shop. We'll probably put $30 on that one as well. So let's get these lights out of the crate and we'll see if any of them will actually power up. So I've chopped the cord clean off this one because I know it's not going to work. The sealed beam, other than being very scratched, I can see the element of the globe floating around on the reflector surface. When I say floating, well, rolling around. I'll see if I can find it. Oh, there it is. Now, will you be able to see that in there? Let's get up really close and you're just getting reflections from the top. It's not focusing on the element or the filament of the globe, but it's the two posts on the middle of the sealed beam where the filament's supposed to be are just bare and the little filaments rolling around in there. So it's obviously blown. I'm not going to try and fit another one to it. I don't have another one. Most of its attraction is the nice front, even though it's scuffed with the GE symbol, General Electric, and the nice Bakelite handle. But the switch is broken. It doesn't work. I've chopped the cord off. Something else is rattling in there. I'm not sure what it is. But I think I'll still get $10 for it. I think someone will fix it up. And I've identified this large Ford headlight, and it's got Ford in early script there and a H, and it actually is off a 1920s, I think 1920 to 1925 Model T Ford. That I believe is actually supposed to be bent, but I don't think the sleeve and the nut are original, but the ones I saw had that bend. I think they mounted on the front of the bumper bar or something. So we have an original 1920s Model T Ford headlight, not in the best condition, but people can restore these things amazingly well. The back's a bit pitted, but the bracket there would still be handy. The outer collar here is probably okay. The glass is in good condition, and I did see someone selling a glass Actually, I saw a few glasses for sale, and they're not round. They have like a tab on each side, and they were bringing, oh, what were they bringing? $50 or so. So that's valuable, sought after for someone that wants one. That's got a few little scuffs and scratches, but there's no chips and there's no cracks. I'm probably going to put that in the shop for, I don't know, let's try $50. Where else do you buy a Model T Ford headlight? And the right person's going to recognise that it's value. The reflector inside, I don't think it's rusty. It's a bit dirty, but it actually looks in pretty good condition. So whilst it probably, I mean, that could certainly be restored. There's no doubt that someone could actually have this light fixed up, but it might be more valuable for parts. If someone's got a Model T that perhaps this side's had a ding or a crease or a bend or something, easier to take another one off, sandblast it, repaint it, spare glass, reflector's good. We'll try $50, see how we go. Now, we can't test it, there's no globe in it, but really that's all you need is a globe and some wire and it's going to work. This one is actually almost more valuable. This is off a Fordson tractor. It's a model, I think, E27N. I just looked it up. I can't remember. I didn't write it down. This sort of sandblasting effect is normal over the top. I'm not sure what the purpose of it was. But this one, again, the reflector looks in good condition. The glass is in good condition. I saw 4 different spare glasses for these for sale on eBay in the UK, and each of them made over $100. And they all sold. So this is quite a valuable headlight. Unfortunately, the bracket's broken, and it must have been a common fault with them because I saw some freshly cast reproduction brackets for sale, and they were selling for a couple of $100. So people are going to the trouble of recasting them. I saw a few also where they mentioned that it had been welded, so it's obviously a fault. Cast iron's brittle, there's a fair bit of weight hanging off the end, and you only have to drive past a fence post a bit close and hit the headlight, and you're going to snap the bracket. So it's quite a valuable piece. I'm not sure what to put on this, given that the glasses seem to go for $100. This one's a couple of scratches, but again, there doesn't appear to be any chips or damage. Again, the reflector looks good. It's got globes in it. We might actually apply some power and see if it lights up. I might try this in the shop for maybe about $80. I mean, if anyone researches, they'll see that it's cheaper than what they're going for online, and then you've got to pay postage. But I'd be more than happy to get $80 for it, given that the bracket's broken. If the bracket wasn't, I've still only got one. I mean, most people were trying to sell a pair, and they were getting, up close to $1,000 for an original pair. So, a valuable piece. We'll check that one though. We'll also check the weird funnel light. I've never seen anything like that before in my life, and it was pointless researching it because what do you search for? You're not going to find it. I don't think anyone else has probably ever done it. So, we'll see if that lights up. And the only other thing I've got here is this jug, which cleaned up pretty well. It's a bit marked and it's a bit rusty. And I did mention at the start they often have graduations on the inside, and I didn't think this one did. Well, it did have. It's just a bit worn off. So we'll probably get, look, I might try $15 for that. It's a nice heavy early enamel jug. So that can go in the box to go to the shop. This one can as well. Same with the Model T Ford light. We've got a price on that. Let's see if these other ones actually light up. So I have my power supply on 12 volts. And I only found one of these. I just had a bit of a play with it, and only found one that actually lights up. Forget which one it is now. That one. So one of the filaments on the main globe lights up, but I can't get any life out of any of the others, so I assume they're blown. So that's pretty cool. But if anyone restores the thing, they're going to rewire it anyway. Now that it's on, I can see that the reflector's pretty good. It's got some little oxidizing on it, but I think it would polish up fine. There's a gasket in there that's dropped in. A cork gasket would have gone probably around where it joins up here. So there we go. It actually works. And as I said, most of the value is probably in parts anyway, but that's pretty cool. I'm not sure what era. I'm guessing maybe 50s or so. But a nice Fordson original headlight with, unfortunately, a broken bracket. I even saw these clamps, they're aluminium light cable ties, but they don't ratchet up. I even saw some of those for sale, and they were selling for fairly good money. So there we go. That's, what did we say? I think $80 on that one. Now remember, we also have this retro one, and I found a globe for it, and I'm probably going to dazzle you guys. Actually, how cool is that? You can actually see the globe, because that's the focal point of the back reflector. So I've paired the wires back on this one, and I know the globe was good, so unless there's a short in the switch or something, I haven't checked this one, so it should be a goer. We don't need to worry about polarity with lights. And where's the switch? On the back. Whoa, there we go. You can see on the back wall there, it creates quite a nice dot. Now, if I turn it around to the camera, how bright's it going to be? Once we get it focused. Whoa, there we go. That's a pretty cool spotlight. And by the look of that spot, it's actually going to travel a fair distance. So that's 12 volts. That's just a standard automotive 12 volt globe. And that reflector is in excellent condition. I don't know what to put on that. It's a real retro piece. It would be an aftermarket. I don't think it's like a particular brand. It's probably just a general purpose. Let me just turn that power supply off before we short our leads out. A general purpose spotty, I suppose. Love the bright colours. I'm thinking I'll probably put about $30, $35 on that one. Certainly a bit different. Now, speaking of different, here's our funnel light. I haven't paired the wires back on this one yet. I did chop some of the length off. We don't need miles and miles of cord. And it's very heavy duty. Geez, that could hold huge amperage. And it was only low voltage, wasn't it? 40 watts, 6 to 8 volts. So let's dial our power supply back down. Keep those terminals separate. Turn that on. We'll dial it down to 8 volts. And we'll see if it lights up. Nothing as yet. We have the push-pull switch though. No, must have blown. Alright, that's a shame. That would have been pretty cool to see that lit up. It's either blown or there's a problem with the wiring, but I'm not going to pull it apart. But I, for the life of me, do not know how they got that globe in there. Because these, oh look, I reckon they've uncrimped it. Hang on, we'll turn the power supply off again. I think they've uncrimped it all the way around and then they've crimped it back up again. Because the funnels do have this ridge around them. How very strange. Alright, well, it's a shame it doesn't work. How much we're going to put on that? Well, given that the spotlight itself's no good and it basically just is a funnel, I don't know, we might just go, say, $15, just for the novelty factor of it. Alright, that'll do. We've finished everything. We better get the notepad out. It's the next day and I've taken the clamps off the Shell oil box. I'm a little disappointed in this. If I did it again, I don't think I'd use beeswax on it, even though beeswax does bring out the timber really nicely. Just the fact that I've rubbed over this lettering again, it seems, especially where I've wiped the glue off down the middle, that's squeezed out, it's taken so much of the print off. So that's not as clear to read as what it was when I first brought it in, even though obviously it was split in half then. It's joined really well. It's made quite a nice box out of it, although we still have one broken board here that I'm just going to leave. And the other end I haven't touched, and it wasn't quite as good when we first got it out. And it's still quite dirty, and it's a little warped. So yeah, that's I think the other end's still actually better. But you just need to be careful when you're rubbing or cleaning up these boxes. The old print, I guess it was never really meant to last 80 or 90 years or something, and by rubbing it, even just washing it, did take some of the paint off. So I was going to put 30 on that. We might drop back to 20. Maybe I'll try 30 for the first weekend and see how we go. I've written down 30 for it. And there's all our other prices as discussed. And I've already put this stuff in the shop today. It's Friday afternoon now, so we're home after our first day of trading. We only work 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Although one could argue we work every day on our YouTube channels. So there we go. Potential total of $285, which does surprise me. When I first looked into this box, there wasn't anything that I thought was going to be worth much. And it's only once we identified mainly the Model T headlight and the Fordson tractor headlight is where some of the big money started to add up. And the lunchbox, of course, that little tin lunchbox from the 20s, really cool piece. So there we go. I'll let you know down the track how we go with sales on this. But at this stage, we have a potential return of, almost $300. Not bad out of one box. Just for interest's sake, a quick look back at last week's episode with all the glassware. And I did change some of the prices as I put it in the shop. I made that crystal dressing table bowl $10. I upped the Caithness vases to $10 each, because I originally quoted $5 each. And I actually sold one the first day at $10. We've also sold the Egyptian perfume and the little bottle, the Spanish condiment set, that ugly brown set, someone loved it, and the free dinner set went. So we've got a bit of stuff moving already. Hopefully this weekend will be busy. The weather's going to be a bit nicer and we might move a bit more of that stuff. So we'll finish up here now, guys. I thought we might actually have time for a second box this episode, but no, this has been way too involved. Much more than just a couple of cheap floodlights to throw out for $10 each and done with the box. And we've got another $285 potential dollars to add. Our kitty now stands at $23,430. So we're around about halfway, a little bit more than halfway, 23 grand. What's the odds of getting to 50 grand once the shed's finished? And remember, some of this stuff I have been putting aside to keep, and eventually I'll sell it anyway, so the price could be actually much higher than that. Sometimes I do discount stuff if it's been hanging around for a while, but it's an interesting guide as to how much junk I had stashed aside for a rainy day. And well, now it's been 2 years working on cleaning it out. Probably nearly 2.5. I haven't actually worked that out. But we're going to keep forging ahead. I need the space. It doesn't hurt to have the money coming in. I am a second-hand dealer and have to make an income after all. And thanks to you guys watching, YouTube gives me a little bit as well. So thank you very much. Catch you in the next episode. Bye for now.